We will tear your souls apart. Hello everyone, I joined my friends today for a movie review. Say hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
This is Jeremy, this is Christian. Today we're going to be talking about Hellraiser from 1987, directed by Clive Barker and also based on the short story, the Hellbound Heart. What do you guys think of Hellraiser?
Oh, I love it. It's a great movie.
Yes, it is one of my absolute favorite movies.
Mine too.
Also based on a very good book.
Yes, absolutely. But it's kind of amazing, like how, like with this being based on one of his short stories, that how rare is it that you hear a guy who wrote one of his short stories and directed one of his own like short stories into a film?
Yeah, you see it happen sometimes, certainly, but it's just interesting how different this is from the original story, and yet it's from the same person, and it works. In some ways, it almost works better than the original book.
True. It's like basically like apples and oranges, or kind of like comparing like the Crow comic to the other movie. How it's like one of those like rare exceptions where, oh yeah, this change worked out very well from what they did from the book to the movie. Like the character Larry, it's Rory in the book, right?
Yeah, but that's a minor thing. But but in the book, Kirsty is not even his daughter.
True.
Yeah.
In the book, she's just a friend of his, and
I thought she was his neighbor.
Neighbor, friend, regardless, like, they're not related in the book.
True.
And I think it works, I don't want to say it works better, but it does work well for the movie, making her his daughter this time.
True, it's, like I said, when you watch the film, it's like, minor changes, that doesn't really affect the film whatsoever.
Yeah. What does work about it in the book is, I know in the book, Kirsty, since she's not his daughter in the book, is in love with Rory.
Right.
And there's sort of this whole theme of like a love triangle in the book where like Larry's obviously in love with Julia because they're married, but Julia is actually in love with his brother.
Right.
But his brother, Frank, doesn't love her at all.
No.
He's only using her as a means to an end. But then you have like Kirsty in the book who's in love with Rory, but he doesn't love her, and it's almost like a four-sided love triangle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially you could just, from watching the movie, you just get the sense without like the explanation that she is not in love with Larry at all whatsoever. And also like in the movie, there's like this like estranged between Kirsty and Julia, because like I feel like no matter what, like Kirsty will always imagine her parents together.
Yeah.
And also, what do you think of also? Frank, the character Frank, he is a scumbag for sure.
Pure scumbag.
Oh yeah. Like, especially like how, like you said, like in your YouTube video about how he has like this sex problem where he's not like satisfied, he's looking for that edge, but once he had that edge, oh boy, that didn't seem to work out very well for him.
Oh yeah, the Cenobites gave him way more than he bargained for.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah, pretty much. And I hate to say this, my first viewing of this movie, I didn't like it because I didn't get it the first viewing, but then on like multiple viewings, your YouTube video like helped me, oh, now I understand the point behind Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is basically like the 50 Shades for its time, but 10 times better.
I mean, I guess you can say it.
Yeah.
I mean, Clive Barker, he had an interest in S&M. Like, that's kind of what he wrote the book and the movie about.
Right.
It was kind of about his fascination with the whole S&M community.
Right.
Like the Cenobites are literally S&M demons.
Yeah. Right. I also feel like a little bit of BDSM too, because I feel like it was groundbreaking for the time for like pain, pleasure, desires.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's what I meant by S&M.
Right, but I know what you mean. Yeah, no, totally. And also because like every horror fan, like before they see this movie, they recognize Pinhead. Like, they thought Pinhead was going to be this main focus, but they don't understand it was the metaphor, like he said.
Oh yeah, like in the first movie and in the book, Pinhead is such a minor part of it. Like, he's not the villain. The villain is Frank.
Oh yeah, no, totally. No, I totally.
Not to mention in the book, Pinhead is more androgynous.
Yeah, true.
And only shows up in literally one scene. Actually, in the book, there's a character called the Engineer, who's sort of the one pulling the Cenobite strings. And in the book, you're not sure if the Engineer is supposed to be the devil or just some, like, higher up Cenobite that we never really see.
Was that the same the character, the one that Kirsty saw in the pet store and ate the bugs, kinda like?
It's a little complicated because like since they made Pinhead more of like the leader of the Cenobites, in the movie you do see like there's that scene where Kirsty does open the gateway to hell and she sees that big cockroach demon.
Yeah.
Apparently that's supposed to be the engineer.
Right.
But like the character, the bum that she sees, the ending of the movie definitely hints that he could be Satan, but in the Hellraiser comics, it does explain what these vagabonds are, and they're just more like these protectors of the box, if you will. Like, the bum was not really the one pulling the strings here.
Right.
Even though, if you just look at Hellraiser as a standalone film, that is a fun thing to speculate on.
Yeah, true. Like, also, I feel like in the book, from like what I've understood from like fans and readers of who read the book, they say like there's no like explanation of Pinhead's like sexual identity. It's more like hinted. I mean, this is just my opinion. My hint was that maybe he's a hermaphrodite, maybe he's both man and female, but that's just my opinion. That's the way I interpret it.
Yeah, like the Cenobites, they're not really supposed to know their gender in the book.
Yeah.
Which is actually interesting there's a line in both the book and the movie where Pinhead, or the lead Cenobite, says, "We're demons to some and angels to others." Because if you actually pay attention to the first movie, they never explicitly state whether the Cenobites truly are demons or if they're actually angels.
That's true.
And angels technically are supposed to be more androgynous. They don't really have a gender per se. So if you interpret them as angels, that kind of fits.
Right. Right. Yeah. But besides Pinhead, do you like any of the other Cenobites in the movie in general? Or like...
I mean, Pinhead's the most well-developed of the 4 Cenobites.
Yeah.
But the Chatterer Cenobite, I've always liked him a lot.
Right.
Great makeup effect.
Oh, absolutely. I think for like a film that's like almost 40 years ago, this movie holds up very well. The effects and the story.
Now, is this true? Is it true the actress who plays the female Cenobite is Clive Barker's cousin?
I don't know.
But I do know that the actress who played her in the first film actually didn't come back for the sequel, so they recast the part.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. No, I actually never knew that.
I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that the actress who plays her in this first movie is Clive Barker's cousin.
I did not know that.
I know Clive Barker and Doug Bradley were friends growing up.
Yes, they go like way back. Bradley and Clive, they've been friends forever. Those guys.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I just love the female Cenobite's voice in the movie. It's so eerie.
Yeah.
But you also, something you'll notice is the scar in her neck that's pulled apart. It's meant to look very vaginal.
Right. Right.
Which there's a lot of sexual imagery in this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially like when they the part like when Kirsty took the box. It's like even though Frank was a scumbag, but he's right. No, don't take that box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when she opens it, like little did she know what it was, and then like the Cenobite thought she wanted to like go with him, but she makes an offer that she'll give back Frank to them because Frank somehow escaped.
Well, this is something that's very interesting.
What's that?
And this is if you want to tie the sequel in with it. So a big thing that's implied is that when you open the box, there's something about you that wanted the Cenobites.
Right.
Like, Frank, he wanted this.
Yes.
So the Cenobites came for him. When Kirsty opens the box, and it seems like she doesn't want it, but at the same time, the Cenobites don't come for you unless you specifically wanted it. So there is this implication that there is something about Kirsty that attracts the Cenobites to her.
Right.
So, like, maybe Kirsty's not as pure-hearted as we like to think she is.
Right.
Although it could be argued that she was just, like, fiddling around with it and it was an accident.
Yeah, true. No. Good
But
point
it's played up almost as if there are no accidents with the box. That the box chooses you almost.
Right. Well, especially the opening scene. What's your pleasure? And he takes the box with him and then gets the Cenobites rip his body apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's like trying to come back to like be human. Well, that's where Julie does all like bring the men over. They kill him, and one by one he's like slowly becoming back to normal again. Then sadly, her father was a victim. Frank goes from his body to Kirsty's father's body.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily his body. He just takes his skin.
Right.
And allows him to take on the form of his brother.
I felt bad for him that he had no idea what he was getting himself into, especially how he's a victim of Julie and Frank.
Yeah. And Julia, I think Julia's a complex character because, yeah, she is the secondary antagonist of the story, but I almost looked at their relationship, the relationship between her and Frank, as almost like a Joker and Harley Quinn-esque kind of relationship.
That's an interesting comparison.
There is a part of me that does feel at least a little bit of sympathy for Julia.
Oh yeah, well, I guess, but that's a hard one. But go on, sorry.
I don't know, it's almost like this idea that Frank seduced her, if you will, and sort of brought her over into this. And,
right.
You know, like, she might not have been a good person per se, but I think Frank maybe made her worse, you know?
What are your comments on that, Jeremy?
Well, she's a good character, like Christian said, and yeah, she's definitely not innocent at all.
Oh,
in
no,
this,
no,
but
no.
Yeah, you're right, Christian. Frank probably did make her worse.
Probably.
Have you ever heard what Robert Englund said about this movie?
No.
I remember Robert Englund saying that the first time he saw this movie, he had to go have a beer afterwards.
Really?
And he's talked about how something that's always attracted Robert Englund to this movie is every character in this movie seems to be in his or her own sort of pain.
Interesting.
Like, all the characters in this movie are in some kind of pain,
Right.
or hurting in some way.
Right.
At least that's what Robert Englund said about the movie, and I thought that was a very profound statement about the movie, and I've always kind of looked at the movie from that lens.
Well, Kirsty's pain was that her mother is no longer the picture, and that her father's married to a new person that she is not used to.
Oh yeah, Julia's the wicked stepmother.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stepmother.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. When you think about it, yeah.
Well, they play on that in the sequel. In the sequel, when Julia comes back, she even says, "I'm no longer the wicked stepmother.
Right.
Now I'm the evil queen."
Right. Even though I love this movie, it's a masterpiece, but unfortunately the franchise, it failed.
Oh yeah, this should have never really been a franchise.
No.
That being said, Hellraiser 2, if you want to talk about that briefly, I do think is a very worthy successor to this, because it expands upon the mythology, but still leaves enough about the mythology ambiguous enough where we could make our own interpretations of it.
Yeah.
Like in the sequel, they introduced the Leviathan, which is the god that the Cenobites worship, but it still doesn't explain exactly what Leviathan is. Is it the devil? Is it just a fallen angel? Or is it like a god? Could it actually be God?
Right.
You know, like, we don't really know, and that's what I really appreciate about both this and this first sequel is there's a real ambiguity to all of it, where you kind of have to bring your own interpretation to this mythos.
Yeah, to me the second one is like the solid, decent one out of all of them. Then after that it just goes like downhill. What do you think of the second one?
Oh, I think the second one is very good. Yeah, it's a worthy sequel to the original, but I mean, I haven't seen all the Hellraiser movies.
Me neither,
honestly. No. I've seen, obviously, the first one, Hellbound Hellraiser 2.
Same.
I remember catching one on TV that had a scene in which Pinhead is getting destroyed in outer space.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Okay.
That's the fourth one. I saw that one, the third one, I don't remember anything about the third one. I saw it once and
third one sucks.
Oh, it does. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, and I also caught bits and pieces of a scene on TV from another Hellraiser movie, or maybe it was also I don't know, but where Pinhead is kind of showing his father, his son.
Oh yeah, that's Hellraiser 4.
Oh,
okay, that's the one.
Hellraiser 4 I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be.
It's okay.
It's like kind of, what it tries to do is it tries to be both a prequel where it explains how the puzzle box was made, as well as a follow-up to 3, but set like 100 years in the future where Pinhead's in space now. But like, I see what they were going for with Part 4. It's not a great movie, but a big thing you have to realize about that one is there was a lot of studio meddling with that one. It was originally going to be much different.
Right.
And I've seen the work print, which is actually quite different from the
I haven't seen that one
version.
yet.
And let's see, I've also seen Hellraiser Hellworld, which starred a then young and unknown Henry Cavill.
Oh, I remember that one.
That one's pretty bad, too.
Oh, yeah, that one was awful.
I know that Henry Cavill's in that one, but I never saw that one because for me, I saw, like I said, second, third, fourth, and I kind of lost track of like all the Hellraiser directed sequels after that. I don't really have a photographic memory which ones I saw all of them. I know about the one with Henry Cavill. I also remember there was one where Kirsty came back, but that was a wasted potential where they just killed her off early in the movie.
Well, she wasn't killed off necessarily in that one. Spoiler if you haven't seen Hellraiser 6.
Okay, thanks for that one.
It begins where you think she's dead, but it turns out most of the movie is a dream, and like at the end we find out it was actually her husband who died and she lived, and
right.
Her husband was basically the whole movie was like her husband's personal hell. It was very Jacob's Ladder-esque.
Right.
But that one sucks so fucking bad.
Right.
I've also seen Hellraiser Judgment was without Doug Bradley as Pinhead. Instead Pinhead was played by an actor named Paul T.
That's right. I'll edit that in here.
Yeah, he did. I thought he did an okay job, but the movie was itself, on the whole, was not very good.
Right.
And, also, I actually met the guy. Oh, Paul T. Taylor, I think his name is. I think, but yeah, I met him at Chiller Theater back in April of 2017, and he was very nice. He was very positive and upbeat.
Right.
Said he had a great time making the movie. So
right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I also, let's see, what else did I? And,
did you ever see the remake one, or
the one
I saw the remake.
How was it?
It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, it's compared to all the other Hellraiser movies, it probably is the best one since Part 2.
Fair.
But it's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. Like, I would actually recommend it.
All right. Yeah, and I think that's all the Hellraiser movies I've seen in the series. I haven't seen the one with Jamie Clayton because I don't have Hulu.
No, me
neither. Yeah, I've seen all of them. I've seen every one. The first 2 are amazing.
Yes.
Part 3 sucks. Part 4 is interesting. I do kind of like it. Part 5, which is called Inferno, that one I do kind of like as well. Even though, in a way, it shouldn't have been a Hellraiser movie, because that was the first one where they just took a standalone script and then spliced Pinhead into it. Hellraiser Hellseeker, the 6th one, where they bring Kirsty back, I despise that one.
Right.
There was Hellraiser Deader, which is okay. Hellraiser Hellworld is awful. Then there was Hellraiser Revelation.
I was about to say that.
That one was really bad. Hellraiser Judgment, I think, was all right, and then the remake was fine. You know, I was fine with the remake.
To be honest, they probably should have stopped after Hellbound Hellraiser.
I can agree with that one, totally.
Or something that Clive Barker originally wanted to do, because if you watch Hellbound Hellraiser 2, Julia is clearly the villain this time.
Yeah.
Clive Barker apparently wanted Julia to be the main villain throughout the series. Like, she's going to become the queen of hell. My God, I wish they did something like that.
Well, because Roy, you told me once that I don't think Clive Barker did not intentionally want to like have Pinhead as like the villain, as opposed to Julia. He wanted Julia to be.
Well, the reason that didn't happen is because the actress who plays Julia, Claire Higgins. Number one, she didn't want to be in any more Hellraiser movies.
Right.
Number two, she actually doesn't like horror movies.
I've heard that's true.
She has actually never seen either Hellraiser or Hellraiser 2.
No. Despite she did such a good job, though, just for someone who doesn't like horror movies.
Yeah. And number three, the character of Pinhead became so popular with audiences that they just decided to make.
I guess they were worried. Like, what if there was they didn't use Pinhead? Like, oh no, like maybe the audience will not react well. We need Pinhead because he was more bigger and popular. Well, don't get me wrong, Julia's a great character, but I think people would prefer Pinhead over to a degree.
But that misses the point of the second Hellraiser movies. In the second one, at the end, he becomes human again and then is killed by Chennard. That was supposed to be the end of Pinhead's arc.
Right.
So bringing him back kind of negates all
they kind of, like you said, they kind of basically turn into like Michael, Freddy, and Jason, a slasher, but he's not a slasher villain like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, I enjoyed Pinhead regardless of, because I like the look of it. I think he's pretty cool, the spikes and the voice. We will tear your souls apart.
Oh yeah, Doug Bradley has an amazing voice.
Oh, he did. He nailed it, and we had to talk about this. We all met Doug Bradley and Clive Barker and Ashley Lawrence, but at least I did. I know you met more. You met more than I did of the actors.
Oh yeah, I've met Clive Barker.
Me too.
I've met him twice. I've met Doug Bradley, I think 3 times.
Nice.
I've met Ashley Lawrence.
Nice.
I've met Andrew Robinson twice.
I've met him too. He's very nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy and a great actor too.
Yeah.
And I've met Claire Higgins once, and I think that's it.
For me, I met Barker, Doug Bradley, and Ashley Lawrence. That's I did see Andrew Robinson and Claire Hay, but I didn't get a chance to meet them.
Oh yes, I also met some of the actors who played the Cenobites, but their names escape me at the moment.
Did you get a photo up with all of them, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, Mania back in, I think,
last
2024, last year.
Because we all went to Clive Barker's last convention, or one of his last conventions that he went to.
Yeah. I got the group photo op with Clive Barker,
Lucky.
Doug Bradley, and the other actors who played the other Cenobites.
Right. When I met Clive Barker, like, even though he seemed nice, but because of his condition, he wasn't the best of hell. But
he looked terrible.
Yeah, when I gave him the thumbs up, he smiled and nodded. Deep down, he appreciated.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, he knew, like, oh, that's so nice of me to do that for him. Like, saying that you're a legend, I love your work, you're talented, and he appreciated my kind words.
Yeah, when I first met him at Monster Mania back in 2019, he was very nice, and he was very chatty despite his obviously deteriorating health.
Right.
I actually got a video of him giving me all sorts of great advice about writing.
Right, I remember that.
Very humble and very nice.
Yeah, he did. Everyone said, like, before, like, his health condition, that he was, like, one of the nicest people.
He still is.
Well, still is, yeah. What about you, Christian? So tell me about your experiences meeting them.
Oh, they're very nice, you know. Ashley Lawrence, I had a good time meeting her.
Yeah, she was nice.
Andrew Robinson, I mainly spoke to Andrew Robinson about his role on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He played a character named Garrick on that show, so that's what I mainly spoke to him about.
Gotcha.
When I met Doug Bradley, I mainly asked Doug Bradley about that failed Pinhead Michael Myers crossover. Which,
I did too.
That I really wanted to know more about, and according to him, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think Mustafa Akkad, who owned the rights to the Halloween franchise, he told me against it.
He told me what happened was it was going to happen because both Barker and Carpenter were on board for the idea, but like you said, Mustafa Akkad said, no, I'm not feeling up to this crossover. Even if the movie wasn't going to be the best, I still would have watched, like, what the hell, because that's as close to something different you'll get with, like, a Halloween movie than the same format.
When I met Andrew Robinson, I met him twice. The first time was at Chiller Theater back in April of 2017, and the second time was, I think, last August in 2024 at Monster Mania. And the first time I met him, I asked him a few questions, one of which was why he didn't come back for Hellbound Hellraiser 2, and he said, yeah, honestly, you know what? They just wouldn't pay me.
Right.
I think what he said was that they offered him scale or something like scale, which is considered like the lowest kind of pay an actor can get in a movie for doing a movie or TV show, and they refused to increase it.
That sucks.
So he decided not to return because he felt that the low amount of money they were offering him was just absolutely ridiculous.
I don't blame him.
And he also told me that in retrospect, he's actually glad he didn't return because he felt that the sequel was inferior to the original.
Yeah, I could see that, but still, because especially the second movie, Kirsty wanted to find her father, knowing that he was still alive, but he was stuck in hell.
Yeah, his refusal to reprise his role as Larry definitely impacted the movie's script.
Yeah, totally. Even though it's not a great sequel, still a solid, okay film. Despite that part, would have been like if he had come back, then maybe it could have been one of the good sequels of like horror in general. Mm-hmm. But we'll never know. What could have, should have, as they say. And also, Doug Bradley signed this, and Ashley Lauren. This is cool. They signed my Blu-ray copy of Hellraiser. How awesome is that?
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, but Bradley was really nice. He was. I get that to myself, man. Who's more chatty, me or him? Because he was really like sociable.
Oh yeah, he's nice.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And I said, thank you for tearing my soul apart. I just had to say that. He's probably heard that hundreds of times, but I couldn't help myself. It's Pinhead.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to touch upon with Hellraiser or?
No, it's an amazing horror film.
Yeah.
I don't think it really should have been a franchise, but as a standalone movie, it's a very... For the time, it was a very original horror film.
It was.
I mean, how many movies like this did you really see at the time?
Well, maybe Evil Dead or The Thing or...
well, those are such different movies.
Oh, true. Well, that's true. Well, because
I mean, you could say that both The Thing and Hellraiser are both body horror movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, when it comes to body horror, I actually would very much compare Hellraiser to Videodrome.
True.
Because I think thematically there are a lot of similarities to Videodrome Videodrome in Hellraiser.
True.
With the whole sexuality angle, you know, especially with the whole BDSM angle. Like the Nikki Brand character, Deborah Harry from Videodrome, almost feels like a Cenobite in a way.
I could see that.
And I also think the journey that Frank goes on in Hellraiser is very similar to the journey that James Woods' character goes on in Videodrome.
Maybe we should do a video.
And especially the transformation that we see both characters go through. You know, like
maybe that could be a video of its own. Videodrome and Hellraiser. They have similarities, but. Yeah, no, this is a great film. This is like one of my all-time favorite horror films. I never get tired of rewatching it over and over again. It's just pure like horror, just pure what's the word?
Terror.
Exactly, pure terror. Just
pure cinema.
Yeah, exactly. Just a film that just gets like I said, more rewatches. I understand it more and more than I did on my first viewing. Yeah. Any final thoughts there, Jeremy? Or
yeah, it's just a great movie. One of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Yes.
I always love it.
Yeah, me too. I guess that's everything we've summed up. That was our video of Hellraiser, and we'll see y'all next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.